Alright, sorry for being a little bit late. Welcome everyone. My name is Jonathan Crimson, and this is the postponed episode 8 of Drawing Night with Crimson. Yep. I'll preface everything by saying that I have a horrible headache today. Not exactly sure why, but I just have it. And the painkillers have stopped working and I can't exactly take them right now, so yeah, fun stuff. Anyways, because of that I might have a music a little bit not louder, quieter, but maybe I can finagle something with the settings of the audio so that it's about the same volume for you guys. And let me just post the link to this transmission in a couple of places first, and then I can do stuff. Alright, links posted. Alright, so as I announced on Patreon, tonight we'll be drawing Midnight Call, as it's overdue, long overdue, for me to do that. Alright, be quieter music. Alright, how does it look like in the volume settings? Maybe if I increase the volume. Alright. I wanted to set it to any louder, but yep, if there are any problems, like for example the audio being too loud or too quiet, then please do tell me. Write it in the comments. Oh. Yeah, that's not the button I thought it was. That's the close button, not the minimize button. Alright. The music is back up. Just get a bit of something to drink. God, I haven't had a headache this bad in forever. It's better now. Early in the morning, like, I could feel my brain itself hurting. Really weird feeling. But now it's fine. Mostly. Not 100%, but good enough. Can't exactly expect it to get any better right now, so oh well. Alright, let's see what I was doing last time. Oh yeah, Calvin. I was doing Calvin. Let's finish this bastard's face. And that's immediately the wrong layer. Good start. I hope you can exactly hear a lot of my dog barking because he's being very loud outside of the door. Yeah, I don't exactly expect much traffic. It's very much a middle of the week live stream. Not much to be done. that's a tad too flat. Let's go with something more taller. Yeah, that looks slightly better. So I had a bit of time to play the new Monster Hunter game, and I absolutely love what they've done with the secrets, like the Dromaeosaur like mounts that you ride on in the game. Like, I absolutely love their design, and they're the most precious little creatures in all of existence. And for those curious, I play using a light bowgun and a lance, because you gotta have that cavalry drip. Yeah, that's mostly fine. Hello, another person joined. So yeah, because of the aforementioned headache that I'm having right now, today's livestream might be a tad bit shorter. We'll see how much exactly I'll gauge that by just how much it hurts. I hope the headache is gone by tomorrow. And especially by Saturday. Alright, fur. I need more fur on this boy, and I need more hair. Hmm. That's a spike in people. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. So, as I might have mentioned during one of the previous streams, I work now at a used electronics store, and we also sell video games. And there's this funny thing that I have, which is I had this client today. Not today, but there was a client I had at the store, and she was this older lady, and God, that was so. She came over to buy a surveillance camera for herself, which is like fine. We don't exactly have surveillance cameras at the store, so we offered her a electric nanny, like a baby monitoring system, because there was one that looks like a CCTV camera, and essentially when I checked its specs on the internet, turns out it essentially has the specs of a security camera. It has night vision, sound recording, video recording, and a lot of other stuff. I mean, night vision and IR floodlight, but it's essentially night vision. So, but she didn't want it at first. She wanted a 50 of the local currency, so like 50% cheaper item. Actually, 33% cheaper item. That it didn't have the moving camera. It had a static camera. And I tried to explain to her that this thing will have a very low camera resolution because the camera was smaller than my pinky finger. That it will have... It doesn't have, because I checked, it didn't have recordings of anything. It only transmitted like in real time. And essentially, like, it wasn't a really good thing to have as a camera. But she was like, no, it will be fine. And then there was the other part, her dog. She had a little chihuahua, something like that, with her. And the little thing was really sweet and cute, but the lady abused the hell out of it. Like, she was constantly screaming at it to stop moving around, stop sniffing stuff, stop trying to walk up to people. Like, she was like, she would be in the middle of speaking with me normally, like, you know, oh, so you have this product and you have this, and oh yes, this is very interesting, yes, and then randomly just starts screaming at the dog and then immediately turns back to me like nothing ever happened. And I'm there in the middle of this, and I'm like, lady, please stop. Just saying that to myself. But then she decided to go, and because she said that she, you know, she doesn't have the time, it took her like, she spent like 5 minutes at the store just talking with me about the cameras, and essentially, so what she was trying to do is, because I wanted to sell the more expensive camera, but also because it had better functionality. It wasn't only because, oh, it's more expensive, you know, I'm a salesman, I have to sell more stuff because we don't get any sort of bonus for what kinds of things we sell. But I was just looking at this thing and I'm like, you know, this thing that you want to buy, like you're telling me right now you want to buy it, it won't give you any benefit for having it. And at the same time I'm like, alright, yep, I get it, I understand that you want this item, but it's not going to give you anything. And she's over there just talking to me and explaining like, no, listen, this thing might not have the exact, this thing might not have the features that I described I want, but I want this thing. And we ended on her leaving the store to go get the cash. Because she, because she had to go to the vet with her dog. So, she went to the vet. An hour later she comes back, which that's more than most people that say that they'll come back do. And she's back again with her bull. Where this time she noticed that there's this thermos looking thing. Like, is it how you pronounce that word? Give me a moment. I think it is. Not Portuguese, it's Polish. Jesus, Google. Oh god, where's Polish? Where's Polish? Thermos, yeah. I was correct. So, there was this old camera. Like, older than our store. It was transferred to us from a different store when our store was opening. And she noticed this camera and she's like, oh yeah, this thing. Yeah, I want that. And I just looked at it and I said, alright. I'll go check if we have the power supply for it, because it had like this massive hole in the back with like a place for cables. And I thought that, alright, maybe it has like a sort of power supply unit that you have to put in. No. That space was for mounting it to a wall. Like drilling a hole in the wall and mounting it. So I went to check for that because also the camera was in a completely different spot than it should have been in our drawers. So while I was looking for it and checking the stuff, she just went out, like left the store without saying anything. And I was just standing there with this camera that she said she wanted, and like it took me about 2 to 3 minutes to actually find the thing. And I just placed it behind the counter and thought nothing of it. But then she came back 30 minutes before the store was closing, and mind you, that would be 5 hours later. And she's like, alright, yeah, I came for this camera that we were talking about. And I'm like, yeah, so I checked the specifications of this camera and you have to mount it on a wall. And she was like, what do you mean mount it on a wall? And I respond to her, you need to drill a hole in the wall and then you mount it and then you put power cables through to it. And those power cables we don't sell, they're not provided, so you'll have to find them somewhere else. And she wasn't very happy about that. She said a couple of not nice things and then moved on. And decided that, alright, she's gonna take the camera that I was proposing to her the whole time. So, yeah, we said, okay, yep, sure. I went for the camera, grabbed it, picked it up. I gave her an extra cable for it because she needed it. And I sold it to her. And when I was selling, we have to fill out those receipts, separate receipts. And mind you, she didn't have the dog at that time, so that was a plus. She wasn't constantly screaming at it. And God, like, I explained to her that your card went through, I have the confirmation for it here, I just have to fill out this receipt, but the problem is that I don't have the object ID that I have to input into my terminal so that I can print out the receipt for you. And so I was walking around looking for the thing while she was over there standing panicking that my card was fine, I checked it a moment ago, it's fine. And I'm like, this is not your card, this is a problem with our system. I have this problem with the receipt machine, I'll fix it in a moment and I'll print your receipt and you can take your things. And she's like, no, but I checked this card and it definitely paid, like I have the transaction here. And like, I just stopped responding at that moment and I just kept doing what I was doing. But yeah. If anyone ever wondered what working at a store feels like, then yeah, here you go. Have a first-hand account. Funny thing, the amount of people watching is in a state of constant fluctuation. That's interesting. Also, YouTube is literally the worst thing to showcase how many people are watching, because the graph seems to be completely and wholly inaccurate. But oh well. Welcome to the new people. Yep, Jay, this time it's actually Midnight Call. For once. For once I'm actually drawing the comic I'm supposed to be drawing. Yeah, if my headache wills it, I might be able to finish writing the in-between story arcs chapter soon. So that'll be the point when I'll be probably messaging you and any other paid Patreons if more appear. The script, and so that you guys can select which one of the characters you want to be portrayed with your character, because that's a thing that will be happening after chapter 8, essentially. Yeah, chapter 8. There will be either chapter, I think it's 8.5 or 9.5, I don't remember at the moment, that will have it's essentially a little side story, and I plan for it to have a couple of characters that will be introduced that I said, alright, I don't have designs for them, so might as well, if people are interested, use the designs of the characters that my Patreons have. So, but that only accounts for the paid tier patrons, any of the paid tier patrons. So if you want to be included in Midnight Call, then starting as low as, what's the current price? I am great at doing sales pitches. I have sold thousands in my local currency. I am definitely a good salesman. Let's see. Starting for as low as $5 a month, you can be included, and there's a 7-day free trial. So you also get some other perks like, hey, getting a special profile picture that I can draw for you, themed around the name of the theme of the tier. And of course your name will be mentioned in the ending card of each manga volume. And that includes not only Midnight Call, but also Kane's Furor, not Furor, whenever that comes out. Yep. Alright, that panel is done. Time to go continue. And now it's that panel. It's a tricky perspective. going to rotate the head slightly. So I've received a vinyl player recently, and because I got some vinyl discs or recordings or whatever you call them during Christmas and before that, and I didn't have any way of playing them actually, so I finally have that. And the funny thing about vinyls is that they're very fickle things. Like, you would be surprised how easy they are to damage. Like, I have a dog, as you might have noticed during the live streams, and the dog leaves a lot of fur. Like, a lot. And the main problem with that is that fur gets everywhere. And it also got on the track. It always gets on the track, it's in multiple places on the disc. And you can hear it, like the strand of hair, you can hear it every time the little needle that plays the music from the vinyl goes over it. It's not very audible, but if you know that it is there, it's extremely annoying. I have devised a way of limiting the amount of hair on that, and the way that I'm going to do that is by moving the entire thing out of this house that I'm in right now and to my actual home that I'll be moving to soon, hopefully. So that way there will be only one dog instead of 4, and which will mean that there won't be as much hair in the air and everywhere. But yeah, having a vinyl player is it is a little of a novelty. Like, vinyl records are supposedly a thing of the past, but at the same time, there is something special, I guess, about having a physical disc that is so large. You need a separate shelf for them. And also there's like around 15 minutes of music on a side of a vinyl record. It depends on their size, of course, because the larger the vinyl, the more music there is. Yep, that's more or less the shape of her face. Maybe I could make their heads larger in this frame. Like, there's a lot of empty space in it. Yeah, this looks like it will work better. Yeah, in general, physical media is... There's something about it that, like, you know, it's physical. You can touch it, you can have it in your hands. You can smell it. It's something about being able to engage more of your senses with the thing that you own. Also, you own it. Like, you don't have to worry about there being like a subscription service that may just take away the thing you love, because they either lost license or, you know, had some sort of falling out or something. And it just is more permanent. Like, I know vinyls are a bad example of that, because vinyls get damaged when you play them, and comparatively to a lot of things, very quickly. That's a funky looking head. That's better. One of the funkier design aspects of Midnight Call is the difference in how I draw teeth for both Eve and Calvin. Because, well, obviously because Eve is a robot, her teeth are fake. They are essentially made to look like the teeth you would see on like a anime character or something like that. They are purposely made that way. So that's why they're those solid blobs. Because they're not real. And on the other hand, Calvin has overly detailed teeth, like overly detailed canines. And in general, like canine teeth like this. They're very jagged. And, well, that's because he is flesh and bone, so it's a very simple way of differentiating the two in design style, which, you know, also the eyes are part of that language. Like, the body type is completely different. Body type, like body shape, like species anatomy even, you could say. So, yeah. That's a thing. I can still make it larger. And I can probably make the muzzle longer to make it more consistent with this. Yes, cook. Thanks. Oh yeah, to those wondering, I did change the cover art for Midnight Call on Global Comics, and that's because I believe that the cover art I was using for the entire series did not give justice to the, well, both art style and the story itself. I'll probably make a new version of the overall story cover art once I have a better idea for it. For now, I just changed it to the cover art of the upcoming issue number 2, which we're drawing parts of right now. So, while I have some people here, question. Next Sunday, which is in 3 days, I think. Today's we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 to 4 days, depending where you live, probably. Next Sunday, the live stream. Do you guys want to see more of me drawing Midnight Call, or the other thing I have to do is I have to do concept art for a Daco Raptor for a horror game that I'm working on with a bunch of other people. So, which one would you want to see? The Daco Raptor concept art drawing or Midnight Call? And feel free to choose whatever you want. Well, there are at least 3 other people watching this live stream, so maybe they can chime in and say something. I have a single image to describe what a Daco Raptor looks like from Paleo Art, so I might show it. Why not? But yeah, I was also thinking about using this as the reference image, as the image for today's live stream. Maybe that will draw a bit more people. You know what? Give me a moment. I have an idea, a glorious one. Alright. It's done. I changed it. Let's keep Calvincible somewhere on the side to aid us in our struggles. Haven't watched any of the new episodes yet, but Invincible was definitely a show that I like and liked, so I will watch it once I have a bit of free time to do so. It's just, I'd say that I have a bit of trouble finding free time to do anything. I think I might be doing something wrong with the style of this. Yeah. No. That's not how we do it. That's not cash money. Goes like this. This and that and that. Yep, and now to just extend it beyond the face. One large benefit of digital art over physical art is the amount of freedom you have to correct mistakes. Because I sometimes do physical drawings or sketches or things, and God, are they more difficult. Like, I have respect for anyone that can consistently draw well in physical. Because I can sometimes do good stuff, but most of the time it's just pretty shit. But in general, I'm a very inconsistent artist. Some of my drawings look decent, others don't. But that's just the nature of the grind. There is this magical point where you get around the level of being average at something. And when you start breaking into the higher level of skill, so when you start bringing to being actually good at something, you fluctuate. Sometimes what you do will be of a higher quality than your average, sometimes what you do will be of a lower quality. Because progressing in art, especially in art, is essentially a wave. You have your ups, you have your downs, but you're always going in a direction. And if you can steer this direction to be slightly upwards, then you're going to advance faster than others. Take it from me, I draw only for 4 years. And drawing a manga has been a tremendous help in improving faster. There is definitely a charm to the pencil traces when you are erasing stuff and essentially doing what something like this, for example, would do just with your hand because it's sweaty. Like something like this. Right? It has like this very similar effect. So there's definitely a charm to it. If you can use it to your advantage, then it can actually become, a constant feature of what you're doing. Alright. She's looking at Calvin, so that would be... While we're on the subject of learning art and drawing, do take notice of how much my style shifts within a single drawing. Like, I'm trying to remain consistent, but just because of the way that I draw and because the fact that I do a lot of things manually, like I try to avoid using, for example, filters. Or try to avoid using what's it called? Pen tips that have already pre-made shapes on them. Because I'm of the belief that if you can do something like, despite what I said some other stream, while using prefabs for drawing, for example, vegetation, as a useful thing, if you have the luxury to not do that, to spend the time learning how to actually draw or paint foliage, then do that, because it will pay off in the future. Because with drawing, whenever you learn how to draw one thing, you're also learning how to do a million other things. Because you're, for example, learning how to work better with your pen pressure, or you're getting accustomed to what your drawing tablet's resolution is, or a million other things. It's just really important to just not settle for what's comfortable, to not settle for what is in your comfort zone, and try to constantly improve, constantly tackle something more challenging, or different. Because if you don't do that, you will stagnate eventually. I know, big words from a YouTuber that is only doing live streams. Where's all that talk going, Crimson? Probably nowhere, this is not the main thing I do. Like, were it not for the fact that I don't have a following, I could probably afford to make the live streams Patreon exclusive, looking at the amount of people that frequent those live streams, and I would probably get the same amount of people here. But at the same time, I do make Midnight Call as a thing that is available for free, at least for now. Because that will change at some point. Not in the near future, though. The entirety of the first story arc will be available for free to everyone, and the rest will be paid for content, both on Patreon, DeviantArt, and everywhere else. Though on Patreon, if you are a Patreon supporter, you will have access to it always, no matter the tier. Because just drawing this entire thing for free is unsustainable. But I won't do what some other comic artists do, and I will release the entire first story arc for free, so that you can get to know the characters and make a informed decision whether you want to see what the future has in store for them or not. And I think that's fair. It's essentially like giving a demo or a free trial of something. If I have the energy for it, I might record and release a video later today. So not record, but edit. Because I've spoken a bunch about drawing tips and things about like that, so I might just look at the live streams and try to compile something coherent from them. So that it's easier to access. Absolutely love this track. Is the music volume okay? Because it is quieter than normally. And usually. No, it felt more like she was genuinely concerned for me. I guess that's the attitude Eve has when speaking. I guess that can work. Funny thing about this live stream is that the delay of me saying something and it being transmitted to the rest of the world is about 1 minute, maybe slightly more. So that's funny. That's a fun fact for you. Hi dog. Hey Kabuki. Here you go. Have a window. You can go outside and go to sleep. No, you want to scratch at the door. Kabuki. Kobe. Chess time. Yep, that is quite the delay. That's why my responses might seem to be so off. Because I do read everything that gets posted in this chat. I respond to it more often than not immediately the moment I see it. So you can count yourself what the delay is. And it's quite large. Alright. The neck. She's slightly bent over forward to him, so the neck actually goes in a different direction. Alright. I have an idea. So what if the next live stream we did a little draw along? So let's say we pick a theme on Patreon. I'll add a poll or maybe just post a question for the free patrons as well. And what we decide, we'll all get to try to draw something related to that. And then you can send me pictures of those drawings, be it either screenshots or the drawing itself, or like a photo of your phone, to my email, which is like it's publicly available. And I'll look at what you'll send, and well, I'll pick a winner based on something, and the winner will get a free commission from me. How does that sound? You have a pretext to practice drawing. I'll be drawing anyways. I see it as a win-win. And hey, since there's no actual money on the line, it's just a service from me, then there's no, what's it called, no pressure. Nice. Not sure if this will happen next live stream, like this Sunday, because as I said, I already have 2 projects that I might have to work on. But the Sunday after that, yeah, why not? Because that will be what, the 30th? Yeah, 30th of March. We can do it as the special for the end of the month. There is always time to practice. Yep, keep your eyes peeled for the Patreon post as well, for when we'll be selecting the theme for the drawing competition. Yeah, I'll probably announce it on Twitter once we have the theme selected, and Yeah, it will be essentially a more interactive art raffle, because instead of doing a email chain essentially and just reposting the thing, what I want from you is to, well, try to improve your skills, work on yourself, while also watching my live stream, of course. So there's probably an entry condition. You have to be, you have to like type a message in the comments during the live stream, so that I can know who you are, so that I can, differentiate the emails or DMs, or however people will send the submissions to me. Hey, if there will be enough people participating, then I maybe pick more than one winner. We'll see. As I said, I don't know what will be the what's it called? What I will be judging on, based on. Like, honestly, the fairest thing I could probably judge on, outside of like the quality of the work, is the amount of effort you put in, because it's fairly easy to see how much effort someone put into drawing something, even if it's low quality. It's easier to tell with physical than digital, but you can still see if someone had a concept and they really wanted to fulfill it. Like, take that from me. I'm a guy that during COVID said, you know what? If I ever want to make a tabletop role-playing game system, I need to be able to illustrate it myself, because no one else will, and if I don't have illustrations, no one will ever want to look at it. And here I am, drawing a manga in the very same setting. Yeah, I also have to check the prices and like essentially what the rates are for that, but if my RPG and essentially my Patreon budget allows me to, which I do have a little bit of money every month that I get to keep outside of my monthly expenses, then I might try to commission from one of the musicians that I know I like listening to a song for either Crimson Punk or Midnight Call. Not sure yet. It could be a cool popularity boost, and also, like, I like music. If I have the cash, I want to support the artists that I like as well. And I never actually commissioned a music track, so it could be a funny experience. But first I have to figure out if the artists that I'm even interested in are taking commissions or, music requests. Because I know a lot of them aren't. Like, the idea has been floating around in my head for quite a long time, but well, I never had the cash to, do something like that, but now I'm in a position where I might actually have the cash. So if I actually will, then I'll do it. I'll go and try and do it. Looking at their styles of music, maybe even if it would be possible, I would be interested in commissioning mid-seas, like the offer of the music tracks that I'm using in the background of my live streams. That would be extremely cool, but I don't know if they do that. Like, I know they did the music for Helltaker and stuff, but I don't know how commissioning music artists work. I mean, I do have a commissions page set up, and I do I do commissions is a bit rich. I used to do commissions because I have gotten, I think, one commission ever since the entire AI thing started. Like, I have not gotten any more commissions ever since then. AI, generative algorithms started. Because it's not AI. It's just a very advanced randomized selection algorithm, essentially. Like, I am simplifying a lot, like to a almost comical degree, but well, there's not much respect in me for that technology. Like, it might be like, I had this consideration when the entire AI algorithm something started, that maybe I should stop making Midnight Call, because essentially the story is about a robot and I wanted to say human, but he's not human, well, a living being, learning to live with each other and somewhat understand one another. And it's more of one coming to terms with reality and the other learning what it means to be alive, as is the tagline at the hopefully one day paper release of the manga. I've gotten ghosted by the printing company that I was in talks with, so I'll have to find a new one, probably. Luckily I didn't spend that much money with them yet. Only for test prints. So that thing is still online. I'm still interested in doing physical prints for Midnight Call, but let's just say right now I don't have the time to keep track of that, as well with me getting preparing to move out of my current home. Once I'm in a more stable situation, maybe. Oh, my fucking head. I swear I'm having the headache of a century today. Yes. What Eve style are you feeling like today? Write in the comments. There are at least 3 different ways that I draw Eve. And I love if I gotten more consistent with that. But oh well, you can have everything. At least there are those solid design elements that I mentioned earlier that help you to identify that what the character that I'm drawing is indeed Eve, outside of her clothes. And Calvin's head is in a very odd position on this panel. You know what, I'm just gonna do Eve on the second panel first, because that will be the easiest thing to do right now. Because what I do is I just do this. I'll finish the things that are off frame, that were off frame in here. With me talking about the plans for Midnight Call, you could almost say that this live stream has turned into an investor's call. And you people are my investors, whether you pay me with money or with your time. So you have chosen to give it to me willingly, to hopefully entertain you. And I do hope you're at least enjoying your time. Funny thing is, when I was talking with the training manager yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday. He told me that he was surprised that because there's a deal for workers, in other words, the staff of the store, where we can essentially rent out games and gear from our store for a, essentially slightly lower price to, test it out over the time of 2 weeks. And he said that he's surprised that the company has never developed a YouTuber to just to just record them testing video games and stuff. And it's funny because, well, apparently I technically am on this platform, so I am a YouTuber, but I'm not exactly planning on suddenly switching genres to tech reviews and video game let's plays, though that one might change. I have a certain video in the works, though we're still in the middle of gathering footage. Alright, I'm honestly surprised how well this just connected. the open muzzle. Like, I'm usually quite bad at doing open muzzles, but I guess drawing them so many times has made me slightly better at them. I'm glad to hear that, Jay. I swear if it's gonna look this good on one page, and then for the rest of the entire chapter, she's going to look ass. Alright. Now I can't escape Calvin. Alright, but I'll start working on him on my own time. My head is killing me and I have to go get a break. So, thank you everyone very much for watching. Yeah, as I said, I'll be doing the Patreon question / poll, whether will be what the subject of the theme of the drawing contest on the 30th will be. And yeah, I'll also ask about the next Wings drawing, whether you guys want to see the Dromaeosaur or more Midnight Call. That will probably be working on page 4 by that time, hopefully. If not, then we'll be back with this. And yeah, what more can I say? Thank you for watching, and I'll hope I'll see you around. Good night, all.